David Ayer is probably the most famous for writing the script for Training Day, but he's also famous for directing movies that have a very specific look and feel. They almost always feature one or more of the following things: cops, dirty cops, drugs, drug dealers, gangs, murder, guys driving around in cars, guys driving around in cars while exchanging dialogue, guns, people being shot with guns. Los Angeles. His latest film, The Tax Collector, contains all of these elements, except the cops. Thank you so much for checking out the review. Before we get started, click on that red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know whenever I post a new video. Mild spoilers are incoming. After the complete debacle that was 2016's Suicide Squad, Ayer tackled the Netflix movie Bright, and then moved on to producing, writing, and directing The Tax Collector. While Suicide Squad made money for DC and Warner Brothers, it was savaged by both critics and audiences, and is generally considered to be a bad film. Bright received a similar reception, even though I personally did enjoy it. So does Ayer's latest foray into the seedy underbelly of modern-day Los Angeles atone for his past sins? Hell no. Taking place in that modern California city, you're getting every element of every gangbanger movie set in LA. For better, but mostly for worse, this is a mercifully short film that couldn't end soon enough for me. There are so bad they're good movies, and then there are movies that are just plain bad. This one, kids, is just plain bad. Bobby Soto plays David Cuevas, a bad guy with a heart of gold who rolls around LA proper in a big black SUV collecting taxes for an imprisoned crime lord called the Wizard. They don't show us the Wizard's face because it's important to the story. Trust me, it ain't important to the story. We're supposed to understand that David isn't really a bad guy because he has a wife and 2 kids. His wife doesn't really know what he does for work, but she loves him regardless. The movie makes it clear that she knows about her husband's iffy past. The script tries to do some things with that, but there's so much else going on that it never really goes anywhere. David is the best part of the movie and the only character that actually has anything resembling nuance or development. Based on the marketing, you would probably assume that Shia LaBeouf's character is the centerpiece of the film, but you would be assuming wrong. This is David's movie through and through. All of the emotional investments that the movie tries to make directly tie into his life and story. He's the only redeeming thing about The Tax Collector. Predictably, things go wrong for David when a rival crime lord shows up on the scene. As happens when guys like this appear in a movie, people get kidnapped, tortured, and murdered. Other people want revenge, and so more people get murdered, etc., etc., etc. Things continue to go from bad to worse, and from worse to downright catastrophic. I can handle movies that are somber and depressing, but The Tax Collector takes despair and sadness to an entirely different level. David's BFF/partner in crime is a fellow tax collector named Creeper, played by former child actor Shia LaBeouf. Creeper is prone to fits of violent rage that often end with somebody being dismembered in gross and terrible ways. We know this because a brief montage provides us with these details, but the movie does approximately 0 things with this characterization. When you consider the fact that LaBeouf got a massive chest tattoo and clearly put the time and energy into crafting this character, it's a huge waste of potential. Oh, and get this, the chest tattoo is in the movie for like 5 seconds and you pretty much can't even see it. At least you can't say that he's not dedicated to the role. When LaBeouf commits to a part, we tend to get a great performance. It's just too bad that he's given so little to do in a movie that's already way too short. This is all fairly standard action, thriller, gang movie stuff, and the plot varies from predictable to downright infuriating in equal measure. Films like this have been done before to much greater effect, and there's nothing really original with The Tax Collector. The script doesn't dedicate nearly enough time to its characters, so their inevitable fates ring completely hollow. It has blood and gore and guts, but to what end? I have no idea, and the movie doesn't either. This is one of the most cynical, angry, loud, violent, and depressing movies I have ever seen. The Tax Collector somehow manages to cram all of these adjectives into a 90-minute runtime that couldn't be over soon enough. If you enjoy fatalistic movies about drugs, gangs, and murder, find another one because this one sure ain't worth watching. Thank you so much for watching the review. If you liked it, click on that red subscribe button. You can also like and share the video since that tells YouTube my channel is worth promoting. Sound off down in the comments, let me know what you thought of the tax collector, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.